Okay. I know, but no, it's turning the streaming on, live stream. So this is a song that I love, but I want to teach you first a little history behind it. It is a poem written by one of the great writers of the Haskalah movement, the Enlightenment movement, his name was Chaim Nachman Bialik. He was raised in a traditional Orthodox home in Europe, Eastern Europe. He totally, completely rejected anything that smacked of orthodoxy. He was totally secular. He was chiloni, we would say in modern Hebrew today. But he preserved, thank goodness, he preserved the poetry that he had written in his teens. So what we're about to learn and sing, he wrote when he was a teenager, okay? It's known as Shabbat HaMalkah, the Sabbath Queen, okay? And on the bottom of page 10. So Charlie and Michelle and I are going to teach it to you. I used to sing it here many, many times, but now I want to, shall we say, let's do a redo, okay? And it goes like this. Hachama merosh ha'ilanot. Okay, that's enough, right? Here we go. Try that with us. Hachama merosh ha'ilanot nistalka bo'u v'neitzei. Try that. Bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat ha-malka. Then repeat that. Bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat. Little different. Ha-malka. Try that. Ha-malka. Let's try it from the beginning. Achama merosh ha'ilanot nistalka bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat ha-malka bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat ha-malka. You thought you all got off easy, but there's a second part. Here we go. Hinehi yoredet. Try that. Hinehi yoredet. Yoredet hakdosha. Yoredet hakdosha. Then it goes. Hinehi yoredet. Hinehi yoredet. And this time we end with brucha. Yoredet ha-brucha. What are you singing? Look at the English for a moment. The sun on the treetops, it's not exactly because we're in summertime, the sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come gather to welcome Shabbat HaMalkah, the Sabbath, our queen. Okay? And then behold her descending. It's a beautiful image. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her, the angels of peace and of rest. That's what you're singing. Okay? Let's sing the whole thing, and let's try it together. Here we go. Hachama merosh ha'ilanot nistalka bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat ha-malka bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat ha-malka. Hinehi yoredet, yoredet hakdosha. Hinehi yoredet, yoredet ha-brucha. Hachama merosh ha'ilanot nistalka bo'u v'neitzei likrat Shabbat Hamalka, bo v'neitzeh likrat Shabbat, Hamalka. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful. A beautiful, the words are beautiful. The melody is extraordinary. That was written by Gordon Lustig, who was one of our song leaders up at Camp Swig. He set that to music as well. So I treasure that. Let's turn back in our Siddur to page 2. And it's a pleasure tonight to call upon Sarit Siegel to come forward to kindle our Shabbat candles on page 2. Whoops. Thanks, Michelle.
There you are.
Okay. Go ahead and light.
If I was taught we light one candle to remember.
Right.
And we light the second candle to observe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And let's join together over on page 3 in the middle of the page, as soon as I bring it closer to me. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace,
and love.
And so I share with you, remember we just sang that about the Shabbat coming to us, and there is a writing, this was written originally in Yiddish by a man named Jacob Gladstein. It's entitled Praying the Sunset Prayer. We're getting closer to sunset, and this was a Yiddish poem that he wrote, which I wanted to share with you tonight in English. My Yiddish is not so good. A bissel, but not so good, okay? All right? Okay. I'll let you in on a secret about how one should pray the sunset prayer. It's a juicy bit of praying, like strolling on grass. Nobody's chasing you. Nobody hurries you. You walk toward your Creator with gifts in pure, empty hands. The words are golden. Their meaning is transparent. It's as though you're saying them for the first time. If you don't catch on that you should feel a little elevated, you're not praying the sunset prayer. The tune is sheer simplicity. You're just lending a helping hand to the sinking day. It's a heavy responsibility. You take a created day and you slip it into the archive of life, where all our lived out days are lying together. The day is departing with a quiet kiss. It lies open at your feet while you stand saying the blessings. You can't create anything yourself, but you can lead the day to its end and see clearly the smile of its going down. See how whole it all is, not diminished for a second, how you age with the days that keep dawning, how you bring your lived out day as a gift to eternity. I hope that that's what you're going to try and do tonight, that our lived out day as a gift to eternity, to try and bring that sense of calm and watching the sunset and watching it ebb. I love the way the stained glass, the sun coming through at this time of year. The stained glass from over there comes through on the walls behind us. And that just kind of tells me to stop and take a deep breath. Go ahead, do it. And let it out. And do it one more time, and this time with the second breath, let out all of the tsuris, all of the trouble that you've experienced this week. And do it one more time, and feel another breath that will renew you, that will give you new vigor and life. And as you do that, it's time to really greet each other. We've greeted Shabbat. We've welcomed Shabbat with the lighting of the candles and with the Sabbath prayer in that sense. So take a moment now. There are people all around you who are perhaps strangers. If you don't know someone, it's your job. We don't work on Shabbat, but it's your job to go up to somebody that you've never met before and say Shabbat Shalom. Introduce yourself. And to people at home, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And if you're watching at home, you can find the lyrics to our closing song in the description box
Shalom.
below the video.
Thanks for sharing your work with me. I'd love to. Okay.
And we would take a moment to say how.
Nice. Good. Yes. Good. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. You doing okay? Good. I'm moving on Tuesday, so I'm crazed is what I am.
Now you'll be there, you get to come to our Havurah.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Shabbat Shalom. How are you? How are you? You look lovely. I like
Thank
your
you.
dress.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
I was going for colorful. Sherry, you're going on the cruise.
This is
too,
really
right?
what
Are you going on the
this is
cruise
what
with
it's
them?
all about.
Are you going on the cruise with them next? Is that next?
We
week?
call ourselves,
You're with
I don't know if you've ever seen this in a synagogue, perhaps
I'm so jealous. I
not
want
in
them
San
to take me as
Diego.
their carry-on.
Okay, Shash Till. I don't know if you've ever seen this. When I first ordained at the, I was first ordained at the, and went to my first congregation in Atlanta, Georgia. I should say Atlanta, Georgia. And the name of the congregation that everyone told me was, it's called The Temple. I later learned the history that it was, in fact, originally in the mid-1800s, it was an Orthodox congregation. And one man named Rabbi Isaac Mayer Wise, the founder of Reform Judaism in North America, who came from Bohemia. He may not really have been a rabbi, but he said he was, okay? And he got in his buggy and came down to Atlanta, and within 2 weeks changed the Orthodox congregation to one of the first Reformed congregations in North America. Okay. It was a real eye-opener for me. It was a new experience because I had grown up in a Reformed congregation in Miami Beach, Florida, where I wore a talit and kippah. We had a cantor, we had a choir, we had an organ. Well, I went to Atlanta and I was told I'm not allowed to wear a kippah. I was not allowed to wear a talit. There was no chuppah for weddings. It was classical reform. And my senior rabbi hired me he said to me, Marty, I want you to help me bring the congregation into the 20th century. That was literally what he said. So And we did that little by little, but it took years in that congregation. That was, if you've seen the movie or read the book, Driving Miss Daisy, that was that congregation. But now here comes back to what I was teaching you from the beginning. Most congregations in that era of the 1800s were known as KK something, if you put it in English. It stood for Kehila Kadosha, a holy congregation, and then the name. If you asked anybody in Atlanta at that time period what was the name of the congregation, they didn't know that what the real name was Kehila Kadosha Gemilut Chasadim, holy congregation, deeds of loving kindness. They only knew it was the temple, okay? And it was a whole different thing. And that's why I come back to Kehila Kadosha. What does it mean? I want you to stop and think for a moment. What does it mean to be a holy community? What does it mean to be a congregation? What does it mean to bring holiness? Not just when you come to temple, to the sanctuary, but what does it mean to bring holiness out there into the world? And that's really the question that I ask you to think about tonight. I will carry with me, and I'm just going to share a personal moment with me. Whenever I sing Lecha Dodi, which we're going to do now on page 20, all right, on page 20, Lecha Dodi, and I come to the last verse, I can tell you exactly what I'm picturing in my mind when we turn and face the door of our sanctuary. I can picture my wife, Anita, coming down the aisle at our wedding. That's what I picture. I can just picture her as Shabbat HaMalkah, the Sabbath bride, okay, the Sabbath queen. And so that gives me a sense of inner peace and beauty that's there, and it'll stay with me till my dying day. So when we sing it, we're going to sing verses 1, 2, 5, 9, 8 and 9, and when we'll rise and face the doorway for verse 9. Okay, let's join.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet b'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'bracha, merosh v'kedem besucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tefila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orei kumi ori, uri, uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai,
yalalai, yalalai, b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah. Yamin u'smol tivrotzi, ve'et Adonai taritzi. Ish ben parzi, v'nismecha v'nagila, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelah. Boi b'shalom aderet bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelah. You may be seated as we turn over in our Siddur to page 26. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'vyomechon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו
Amen.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. As we continue, let's join together over on page 30 as we join in the prayer of evening creation. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochabim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kivtsono, borei yom balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzebaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And over on page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu, ufkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, נהגה יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. We're going to join in a moment in the chanting the Ve'ahavta. It's on page 36. A personal bit of my history, having grown up in a Reformed congregation which used the old little blue Union prayer book. How many of you remember it? Thank you. Good. Okay. I could recite most of it to you, both the English and Hebrew, pretty easily. But I was really shell-shocked when I went off to college, to the University of Florida, to Hillel. And I began going to daven at Shabbat services, and they were doing a Ve'ahavta. The beginning was the same, but there was all this stuff in the middle that I was never heard before that was left out. That was a conscious decision by the early reformers because, number one, they were opposed to talit. And you see what I have on the seat of my talit? The thread of blue, okay?
which is in the biblical text, okay? You shall have a techelet, the thread of blue. What's it there for? That's why I wanted to just talk about for just a moment. The blue thread, which is from, it's interesting, a little ironic, because even back in the biblical period, they did maintain some level of kashrut. And the blue thread was dyed from a mollusk, okay? And non-kosher species, okay? Which for many years, up until about the 1970s, late 70s, the Orthodox community said that the dye from that mollusk had disappeared. It was extinct. And then they found it, okay? And so today, if you go to Israel, you can, and I was just actually ordering my granddaughter's talit, okay? You can order the talit with the blue thread of the tzitzit. Actually, a friend of mine at Congregation Beth Israel took my talit and added the blue thread on my tzitzit for me. And what's it there for? Two things. One, it was to be used as a marker. This is discussed in Tractate Barachot in Talmud as to when is it appropriate to say the Shema in the morning. And the response of the rabbis in that early Talmudic period was when you can distinguish the blue thread of the talit, okay, that you could see the blue. But the other more midrashic interpretation is that the blue was the thread of royalty, that the blue was the thread of distinguishing ourselves from others. And so it was a reminder that we had special obligations unlike other people, not to say we were better than anyone else, but that we were different. And Reformed Jews did not want to be different in that early time period. So they just threw it all out. The baby and the bathwater all got thrown out. And now, in that same Reformed congregation where I was forbidden to wear a talit, they have talitot, and some of them have the blue thread on it. So just, you see, times will change and will evolve, and we evolve as a result as well. So when I close my eyes at night, before I go to sleep, I say the Shema and the Ve'ahavta and those middle prayers about the thread of Techelet, of the blue thread, because it's a reminder to me of who I am and what I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to try and achieve in my lifetime. I gift that to you if you want to begin following that custom as well. You could say it in English, you could say it in Hebrew. If you know Aramaic, you could say it in Aramaic, but I'm joking. Okay, so I would suggest that it's something that can have and bring greater meaning to one's life. Let's join together in chanting Ve'ahavta as it is in our Siddur. Okay, it's over on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha, u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam, Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Let's turn over to page 40. We'll join in a few moments in singing the Mi Chamocha. But I found something that I wanted to read tonight. Okay, I'm hearing something in my ear.
Oh my gosh.
Can you hear it? No.
I can hear it.
Good, because I need to turn it off. That's so weird.
Yeah, what's the score, Rabbi?
Okay. Okay.
I take this moment, I forgot something when I was lighting the candles. I was lighting them because Joel and I always had a special thing that we did when we lit the candles, and I forgot to do it, and I really meant to. When we light the candles, we would always say we would like the first one to remember Shabbat. And then we would like the second one to say we're going to observe Shabbat. And we would always stop at that point, and we would say, how exactly are we going to observe Shabbat? What one thing are we going to do to make Shabbat special? A very mindful, intentional act to do something on Shabbat to make it special. And I just wanted to share that with you because it was such a beautiful thing that we did together.
Nice. Thank you. Thanks, Suri. So here's this will help make Shabbat special. These are the words of the late Nelson Mandela. He spoke this in 1994 in his inaugural speech after being so many years in prison. And these are the words that he shared at that time. And it certainly is a reminder of what the Mi Chamocha stands for in terms of searching for human dignity and freedom. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. We are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. I hope that you will let that resonate in you, not just on Shabbat, but in the weeks and year ahead, that to remember that when you're with any other person, even the people you don't like, even the people you don't like, okay? When you're with any other person, our job is to be the best possible person we can be so that they can be the best possible person that they can be. We join in Mi Chamocha on page 40.
la 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 la
How many of us have trouble resting at times? Okay, sleepless nights or just putting our head down. As I've gotten older now, I never used to be able to do this, but I can actually take an afternoon nap. Okay? That was impossible. I could never do that. I couldn't slow down long enough. But the Hashkivenu asks, God, give us the ability to rest. And we live in a rather high-powered world. We have data coming at us constantly. Some of us make a living off of that. Some of us stay as far away from it as possible. But I would suggest that the Hashkivenu, the brilliance of the rabbis in creating this particular prayer to tell us, okay, Hashkivenu, cause us to lie down. The next word, l'shalom. Cause us to lie down, l'shalom. And that doesn't mean in peace. What does it mean? In wholeness, in fulfillment, in the unique person that each one of us is. Let's join together. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Bottom of 43. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Anybody here know what the word amen means?
Ooh. I know.
What? Kind of.
Close. Faith.
Watch this one. Faith. Watch this one. It's the Beatles. Let it be. So may it be. Amen means emunah. Comes from the word emunah, which means faith. To really hold on to what we just sang and what we just believe. When you say amen to something, you're saying, I approve of it, I agree with it. Don't say amen if you don't agree. We continue on the middle of page 44 as we join in really celebrating Shabbat. Yismachu.
I think you might need that.
Yes, I will need it. Forgive me, Bessie. Yismachu v'malachutecha shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismachu v'malachutecha shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. שבי שבת כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת והשביב רצית בו וקידשתו שבת חנדתי ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת זכר למעשה בראשית שבת זכר למעשה בראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. It's nice to see that you have all done what we would call your spiritual warm-up exercises. You think I'm kidding? No. What we've all done up to this point is the warm-up, the stretching, the spiritual stretching to be able to really pray. And because originally, most of the liturgy that we just shared, most of the prayers, were not part of the original prayers of prayer life of our people. What was the center, the core? What we're about to do, the Amidah, the Avot, the Gevurot, the Kedusha, those things. The Amidah, the standing prayer. And so, are you ready? Are you ready? Because now, that's why we stand. La'amod, to stand. Amidah, that's where it comes from. Okay? On page number 46, thank you. My wonderful eyesight, which is going. Okay? So, let's join together. And we're going to daven the first three prayers together, and then we are going to have our own silent tefillah moving through the conclusion of the Amidah. And when you're done with your own prayers, then please be seated. Okay? Hananana svatai tiftach Hananana ufi yagid tehilatecha Hananana Adonai Ananana svatai tiftach Ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha Ananana Adonai Ananana svatai tiftach Ufi
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sahara, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Libnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Metim Atah, Rav L'Hoshia, Morid Hatah, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Givurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'emat alehachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Shalom Rav. Please join us on page 60. Elamcha
Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. I love their music. Just Michelle and Charlie, thank you. Tonight we're going to do a little something different because, the Divrei Torah, the quote unquote, the sermon, was a creation of Reform Judaism. Rabbis never gave sermons. Did you know that? They never gave sermons. Twice a year. I'm not joking. Twice a year. On the Shabbat before Pesach, okay, they instructed the congregation how to observe Pesach. And on the Shabbat before the High Holy Days, before Rosh Hashanah, they gave a sermon about how to get ready to ask God for forgiveness. That's the only 2 times a year that rabbis ever gave sermons, historically. So what do? What I believe my role has always been to teach. But teaching means give and take, all right? So tonight, if you open up your Torah commentaries that I asked you, if you didn't grab one when you came in, there are still more, and Betsy can help you, or Michelle can help distributing more of them. We're going to turn over to page 1127. 1127. We're coming to the end of the book of, I know it says in English, Numbers. It's not Numbers. It's Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. It's the end of the wilderness book of our people's journey. So let's start first by doing, as we should, a bracha for engaging in words of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Holy One of blessing, sovereign of all existence, we bless you for giving us the mitzvot, the commandments, and commanding or encouraging us to dig deep, la'asok, to dig deep, to engage in words of Torah, which is what we're going to do. So, on that page, we are coming today, this week, this Shabbat, to the end of that book. And at the end of this engaging with you, I'm going to recite the famous words that we say when we finish each book of Torah, which I want to teach to you now, and then you'll say them with me at the end, which is Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, which means be strong, and we will strengthen one another. Okay?
Let us strengthen one.
1,127.
Yeah,
In
1,100.
the new plout, if you have an old plout, which I think everybody has a new one, but if you're not finding it, raise your hand and I'll bring you a
Okay,
different
we're
version.
going to be on verse number 5, verse 5 toward the bottom of that page. Okay? But now what I want to do, because I don't want to leave anybody out, we're going to read that. Somebody volunteer, please, in a good loud voice. Okay, you got it?
Becca.
Okay, a really loud voice. Read this passage.
So Moses,
It's on.
at the Eternal's bidding, instructed the Israelites, saying, "The plea of the Josephite tribe is just. This is what Eternal has commanded concerning the daughters of Zelophehad."
So listen, I love this name. Nobody names their kid this anymore. Okay, Zelophehad. Say it.
Zelophehad.
There we go. All right.
They may marry anyone they wish, provided they marry into a clan of their father's tribe. No inheritance of the Israelite may pass over from one tribe to another, but the Israelite heirs, each of them, must remain bound to the ancestral portion of their tribe. Every daughter among the Israelite tribes who inherits a share must marry someone from a clan of her father's tribe in order that every Israelite heir may keep an inheritance share. Thus no inheritance shall pass over from one tribe to another, but the Israelite tribes shall remain bound, each to its portion.
Okay, now we'll come to the very last verse in a few moments. But now, what's going on here? The daughters of Zelophehad. Zelophehad dies in the wilderness time. He dies in that wilderness period,
So we're actually on the
and he
next
doesn't
page.
have any male heirs. And now his 5 daughters.
Sure.
Here come some wonderful names. Machla,
Oh, got it.
Machla, Noah,
Would you take that one?
Hogla,
And I'll take this one
Milcah,
over there.
and Tirzah. Those are some names. Tirzah here today still, but the other was not so much. Okay?
11:28.
What?
Noah.
Noah we hear today also, yes. Thank you. So some of those names are still in vogue, but not that many of them. Okay, so these 5 women, now, and that's what I wanted to focus on tonight. Imagine the courage it took for these 5 women to stand up in front of Moses
Oh, yeah, you need
and the Israelite community and say, whoa, wait a minute now. Our father never produced sons, and we're about to enter the land. What about us? Okay? Now, some people say that this is the beginning of the feminist movement. Okay? I take issue with that to a certain degree because you can hear the limitations that are being placed on them. What are the limitations?
Well, they don't inherit it. They have to have a husband from the tribe.
That's right. They inherit only insofar as they marry someone within their ancestral tribe, and therefore they will protect the land holding of that tribe. Okay? The real estate. It's always real estate. You know, okay. Location, location, location. You're right? Okay, it's always real estate. It always has been. It always will be. But what I'm trying to get at, I just marvel. This is the first example. And by the way, this is not the only citation of this. Earlier in Numbers, and then again in the book of Joshua, these women are mentioned. Okay, and they're standing in front of Moses and asking for the right of inheritance in this way.
Do you want the
So I'm going to ask you a question.
find it, or do you want
What gives these women the courage to speak up?
Gotcha.
What gives these women the courage to speak up? What, in your opinion, what do you think is going on within them that gives them the first time a woman challenges the authority of the leader of the people?
They've had it up to here.
Thank you. They had it, right. It was enough with caring for children and feeding the men and doing all of this. So, yeah. Now, we take that for granted today. We often take it for granted, but to step and have the courage, and I'm looking at two young women, and I'm saying, having the courage of your conviction to say, enough. We sing that at the Pesach Seder, Dayenu, okay? Enough, it's enough already. And that's what I find in this text that is so absolutely remarkable. But there's something else going on. I see in it, the text, something that they are asking for. Justice rather than tradition. Okay? What's just in our world? Is it just that some people are disenfranchised in our society right now? Okay? There are people right now. I've been hearing all kinds of discussion with people being read out of their voting rights, of people being read out because of their sexual values or orientation, of people being read out because they don't comport with the standards of our society. And what Judaism teaches us is justice. Justice sometimes trumps tradition. Pardon me for using that word. It just came out of my mouth. Forgive me.
Wow.
Okay. Don't start me either. And don't. I'm not being political. I'm just being honest about. That just came out. That bit of my vocabulary came out. Okay. So what does this teach us then about the relationship between what I will call justice and established law? What does it teach us about the difference between justice and established law?
I see that the women were able to speak to Moses because Moses had been able to say to God, well, you can't kill him.
Moses
More than once.
Right.
You can't kill these people. You already promised them this land. You can't kill them.
And Moses uses wonderful psychological technique. If you destroy the people of Israel, what are the other nations going to say about you? God. Jewish guilt is not.
Me Sinai.
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. It's me Sinai. It's from Sinai on. And it really is something to make us stop and really think about, well, why do we have to do that if that's not really just? Okay? Why do we really have to do that? The tradition tells us to do that. We must do that. Well, I can remember the day I was standing in the Hebrew Union College chapel in Cincinnati, Ohio, and one of my student colleagues got up on we couldn't call it a bima, we called it the pulpit, and he had on a talit and kippah. The chapel was the purview of the faculty of Hebrew Union College. And about 4 of them went running out of the chapel down to the dean's office. And he came running down, he was a former football player. He came running down the center aisle of Hebrew Union College Cincinnati's chapel, and he leapt from the floor level up to the pulpit, and he grabbed my colleague, my student colleague, now Rabbi David Zucker, grabbed him by the shoulders, and he said, "Mr. Zucker, you are not permitted to wear those items anywhere in this institution." And then he lifted him from the pulpit down to the floor level. We students went out on strike for 3 days. And the faculty ceded control of the chapel to the student body after that. And I use that as an example, like the daughters of Tzlafachad. There are some things that we have to take a moral stand and say, this is just not right. This is not really what Judaism really teaches. And we have to have those lines of demarcation, and we have to stand by them and stand up for them. And that's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It takes koach, courage, chutzpah, okay, nerve. It takes both, and much more. it takes still, in doing that, saying, I'm doing this because this is really what the tradition is about. The tradition is not about excluding, but including. And that's really what we have to really think about tonight as we discuss this portion. So, next thing to talk about. What's your model of, we have a female senior rabbi of this congregation, okay? Tonight she's up in the Bay Area doing a baby naming for Charles Colonna and Gabby Tuchman's daughter. That's where she is, okay? Yes, they had a little girl, and Devorah and Sebastian and Rafi are all up there. And so she asked me to do services. But what's your model of women's leadership? What does that need to look like? The daughters of Tzlafachad are the first example in Torah of leadership, female leadership. Stop and think about it. Eve, in Bereshit, in Genesis, okay, she's accused of eating the apple that destroyed everything, okay? Did she stand up and say, whoa, hold it, God? No, she was silent. Other women in the tradition, I think of Hannah, who she's praying silently, and she's accused of being drunk because of moving her lips in prayer. And she doesn't really challenge that. She challenges it somewhat, but not fully. I think of other female characters in our Tanakh of the Hebrew Bible. And we have to stop and say, what is your model of women's leadership? Anybody? Want to give me some, what? Tamar, okay.
Devorah.
Huh?
Devorah.
Devorah, okay. Devorah is a great, Devorah, I'm not talking about Rabbi Devorah. I'm talking about Devorah in the Bible. Watch this one. She is a military leader. She leads the men into battle. She is a judge. She is considered a Neviah, a prophetess. All of those things. So we tended for many years, for generations in fact, to ignore those things. Women, because of menstruating, were disallowed from even touching the Torah, okay? They were not allowed to even come near it because they might have their period and therefore they might be unclean and they would sully the Torah itself. We have to stop and think about the change that has happened in modernity. Thank goodness. I will tell you, I'm very excited, and I'll bring it to a close with one other thing after this, but I'm very excited, but we are going to finally have a community mikveh in San Diego. Congregation Beth Israel is building a communal mikveh on the campus of Congregation Beth Israel. Many people, when I tried working with a number of other leaders in the community several years ago to try and do that, and had impossible impediments were placed in front of us. But finally, it's going to happen. Now, I use this as an opportunity to talk about that because women were considered to be unclean until they went to mikveh after their period. We don't believe that anymore. And the Orthodox community still does. But here's where I use the daughters of Tzlafachad as a living example. I don't apologize for being Reform. I celebrate it because I say we need to stand up for who we are and the values that we hold to be true, and that includes the equality of women and nothing about the physicality of a woman's period should disable them from being able to participate fully in Jewish life and in life in general. So these are things that I take from this Torah portion. I think that I would tell you the last linkage, the daughters of Tzlafachad, when they stand in front of Moses, they are not separating themselves from their father. They are the daughters of Tzlafachad. They are saying, we will carry on the legacy of our father and remember that he will always be part of who we are and what we inherit and what we pass on to the next generation of our families. So that's the thing that I wanted to share with you tonight. Any other questions or comments about it? Yes.
I was thinking that they were the Sabras, the generation that came after the wandering, and that each generation
Is that on? Yeah, okay.
that each generation is building on the next, or building on the prior one,
Absolutely.
so that what was acceptable before, what was orthodox before, becomes reformed with each new generation.
Thank you. Excellent. Yep. Just keep on. I'm so proud of being a Reformed Jew. I'm absolutely proud of it. All that we have accomplished, and yet to accomplish. Okay? Yet to accomplish in our world. So I'm going to read the last words of the book of Bamidbar, and then you're going to say that phrase with me that I taught you earlier. Okay? These are the commandments and regulations that the Eternal enjoined upon the Israelites through Moses on the steppes of Moab at the Jordan near Jericho, near Jericho. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen each other. And with that, we rise for the Aleinu prayer, which you'll find in your Siddur. Michelle, help me.
On page 282, followed by 287.
All right.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. So we come to the time of the Kaddish, and these words which I share were written by Rabbi Gerson Levy. It's a reading for Kaddish. What is life like? Life, it has been said, is like a musical instrument. God plays upon the instrument. The time may come when the instrument that had felt the touch of the hand of God and had responded to its caressing may crumble and fall into dust. But they who have heard the melody will have its notes ring in their ears to the last day. Our loved ones were musical instruments in the hand of God. Eagerly, faithfully, they answered with the melody of their lives to the touch of God's hands. We know The mortal remains will go back to the dust, but we who have heard the melody will hear it forever. And so as we remember our loved ones who have died on this Shabbat, we take them into our hearts, and we remember these within our own congregational community who have died recently during this last week. Bob Horwitz, husband of Annette Horwitz, father of Elise Brown and father-in-law of Scott Brown, father of Dawn Horwitz Person and father-in-law of Johnny Person, father of Jill Kipnis and father-in-law of Scott Kipnis. Is there anyone else marking Shiva this week? For those in the first 30 days of mourning Shloshim, we mention Barry Weinstein, brother of Robert Cohen, and we mention Arlene Gluby, wife of Ken Gluby, mother of Robin Storfer, and mother-in-law of Michael Storfer, grandmother of Jake Storfer and Matthew Storfer. Is there anyone else in Shloshim, the first 30 days? And so we mentioned for Shana, if you are in the first year of mourning a loved one, I ask you to simply rise, and as I look at you, please share the name with the community.
Bennett Deere.
Judy Becker.
Rabbi Andrea Weiss, Anita Satloff Lawson. And to these dear ones, we link these whose yahrzeit we observe on this Shabbat. Liesl Gilbert, Joel Siegel, Aaron Scharfman, Dwayne Cantor, Rolf Lang, Marion Baumgarten, Sharon Kleiman, Marilyn Levine, Edna Gardner, Albert Solomon, Susan Kipnis, Leo Svet, Manya Veitzman, Joshua Wagner, Joseph Katayan, Phyllis Van Heusen, Foym Veitzman, Terry Elias, Estelle Bennett, Alan Davis, Julius Scheinholz, Norman Ivedon, Esther Switkin, Rose Hirsch Satloff, George Amber, Goldie Fishman, Bertha Siegel, Harry Edelman, Albert Bresnick, Charles Furman, Jacob Brown, Gerald Kleeman, Murray Lampert, Coleman Abraham Reisman, Lenore Bernstein, Martin L. Morris. If you have anyone else to add for Kaddish, please share the name. And if it's your custom to rise with those who are in mourning, I would ask you to do so as we join together in affirming the goodness of God. I remind you, Kaddish itself makes no mention of death. It is strictly an affirmation of the divine within our world. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayeichon v'yomeichon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'chol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. I add that last phrase. I started doing that a couple of years ago. V'chol yoshvei tevel, all those, we say for all those, not just among Israel, but for all those who need that blessing in the world. That's what I have added that now. I never grew up saying that. Please have a seat for a moment. Let me just share a couple of reminders to you. First of all, the mitzvah of the month, backpacks and school supplies. And you can drop them off in the temple office, in the barrels that are in there in July and August. Many of the students going back to school need those new backpacks, okay, not the schmatas, okay, but the new backpacks, paper and notebooks, colored pencils, crayons, pens, pencils, and sharpeners, glue sticks and white glue, rulers, and safety scissors. All of those things you can bring to the temple, and we will get them to the right source that needs them in the community. Also, next week, we are in Pride Month now, and so next week is our observance. The services will not be here on Friday next week. We will be joining as a community at Congregation Beth Israel for Pride Shabbat. And it's promises I'll be there, and I promise you it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful service. I've been talking to Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, and he's orchestrating it. It's going to be wonderful. So please join us over at Beth Israel. Saturday is the Pride Parade. We were the first Jewish congregation to march in Pride, and we will continue. Last year we took a year off because of some of the problems with the leadership of the Pride community, and we don't regret that in the least, but we decided we are going to be there, and all of the Jewish groups, the contingent, will be marching together instead of separately this year. So there is strength in numbers, and we will be together in that way. I have learned my lesson. The last time, a few years ago, when I actually marched, I realized I'm not as young as I used to be when we first started doing this. And so I'm going to be riding in the car with Rabbi Devorah. Okay. Okay, but we will be together marching for what we really believe in. And then on Sunday, we are having the Pride brunch here. And that is just a kick. I know it will be a lot of fun, and you do need to make a reservation on the temple website to attend that. Okay, so let's take that piece of paper that you were handed lovingly by Betsy when you came in tonight. These words were commissioned by Randee and Dick Friedman for the groundbreaking of Temple Emanu-El. I can't believe how many years ago this has been, but these are the words that Debbie Friedman, of blessed memory, wrote for this congregation. So let's join together. You can stand if you want to, you can sit if you want to, whatever you're comfortable. These are the gifts that we bring, that we may build a holy... I'm in the wrong key. Okay. Yeah. These are the gifts that we bring, that we may build a holy place. This is the spirit that we bring, that we may build a holy place. We will bring all the goodness that comes from our hearts, and the Spirit of God will dwell within. Well, now that you know the melody, now you know the words too. These are the colors of our dreams we bring to make a holy place. This is the weaving of our lives we bring to make a holy place. We will bring all the goodness that comes from our hearts, and the Spirit of love will dwell within. These are the prayers that we bring, that we may make a holy place. These are the visions that we seek, that we may build this holy place. Let our promise forever be strong, Let our souls rise together in song, that the Spirit of God and the Spirit of love, Shekhinah, will dwell within. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Toda Rabara.
No, thank you. Michelle and Charlie, thank you.
Thank you. It's always an honor. Should we?
Yeah. Oh, join us out in the lobby for Kiddush and Motzi. Okay. If you will be so kind to help our maintenance staff by taking your